Have you ever noticed how most men will confidently say, "Yeah, I'm about 6 feet tall," or "I'm super fit these days," or even, "Yeah, I'm pretty big down there," but deep down you wonder, are they really telling the truth? Well, here's the thing. Science decided to find out, and what researchers discovered shocked everyone, because not only were men not telling the truth, some of them exaggerated their stats so much that they actually beat world records. Yes, world records on paper. Sounds funny, right? But the truth behind this story isn't just a joke. It's a window into how men see themselves, how society pressures them to live up to impossible standards, and how a simple lie can reveal something far deeper about self, worth, ego, and what it really means to be a man. So sit tight, because this isn't just about measurements. This is about why we lie, why we compare, and why confidence has nothing to do with inches. And everything to do with honesty. The experiment that exposed the truth. Let's go to Denmark. A team of researchers gathered 224 men, their goal to understand how honest men are when asked about their own bodies. They divided them into two groups. One group got paid a small amount, about $5. The other group got paid more, around 22. Then they asked both groups to do something simple: report their physical stats, their height, weight, fitness level. And yes, their penis size, but this wasn't some casual, just guess kind of thing. The researchers handed out rulers, gave clear instructions, and asked the men to measure themselves properly. Now, here's the twist. The researchers believed that when it came to traits linked to masculinity, strength, athleticism, or size, men might exaggerate. But they also thought, maybe, just maybe, those who got paid more would feel obligated to be honest. Because when you're rewarded better, you feel more accountable, right? Let's just say they were half right. The shocking results, when the results came in, the truth was both hilarious and fascinating. Men exaggerated their height by about 1%, their athleticism by roughly 4%, and their weight. That was fairly accurate. But when it came to the one thing most tied to masculinity, penis size, the exaggeration went through the roof. Men reported an average length of 18 centimeters, that's about 7 inches, but the real national average, around 15 centimeters, or just under 6 inches. That's a 21% exaggeration. To put that in perspective, imagine if everyone exaggerated their height by 21%. A 6-foot man would claim to be over 7 feet tall. It doesn't stop there. In the group that got the smaller payment, about 8% of men said they were larger than the current world record. Let that sink in. They claimed to be bigger than what's physically been proven possible. In the higher paid group, only 1% made those kinds of claims. So yes, money did make men more honest, but even the honest group still stretched the truth, just not as dramatically. The meaning behind the lies now, you could laugh this off and say, "Ah, it's just male ego." But the truth goes deeper, way deeper. This study revealed something psychologists call social desirability, bias, a fancy term for the human tendency to present ourselves in a way that looks better to others. And when that's tied to masculinity, it becomes a battlefield of pride, fear, and insecurity. Men grow up being told, be strong, be tough, don't show weakness, be big. And when they feel they don't measure up literally or metaphorically, they start to lie. Not because they're arrogant, but because they're afraid of judgment, afraid of rejection, afraid of being seen as less of a man. But here's the tragedy: those lies don't protect them, they imprison them. The silent pressure from the moment a boy hits puberty. Society bombards him with images of perfect, men muscular, tall, confident, sexually unstoppable. Movies show heroes with chiseled bodies and impossible stamina. Adult content portrays exaggerated sizes as normal. Social media filters bodies into unrealistic shapes. So of course men start comparing themselves even when there's nothing wrong with them at all. The truth is, the average erect size worldwide sits between 5 to 6 inches, completely normal, completely healthy. Yet, millions of men believe they're inadequate simply because someone online bragged otherwise. That insecurity creates what psychologists call small penis anxiety, a real psychological condition where men become obsessed with their size, even when they're perfectly within the average range, and the damage is real. It ruins confidence. It affects relationships. It creates shame, the kind that eats at you quietly from the inside. Some even turn to dangerous, untested methods to increase size, risking pain, deformity, or permanent damage. All because they believed a lie, the real secret to confidence. So what's the truth? What actually makes a man confident, desirable, and fulfilled? It's not inches, it's not muscles, it's energy, connection, and presence. The most satisfied men aren't the ones who measure the most, they're the ones who understand intimacy isn't about performance, it's about partnership. Ask any happy couple what makes their connection great, and you'll hear words like trust, communication, comfort, love, understanding. Not once will you hear sighs, because satisfaction isn't physical, it's emotional, it's spiritual. It's about showing up for your partner, not showing off to the world. The money lesson and what it really means, but let's circle back to that study. Why did the higher, paid group tell the truth more often? Because when people feel valued, they stop trying so hard to prove their worth. It's not about the money, it's about validation. When someone feels appreciated, respected, and confident in who they are, they don't need to exaggerate anything. They already feel enough. That's the real secret this study uncovered. When a man feels secure in his value, his honesty grows stronger than his ego. The better. The average trap. Humans have this little quirk called the better, the average effect. We all think we're slightly better than others, a bit smarter, more capable, more attractive. It's harmless in small doses. But when masculinity gets tied to ego, this small bias becomes a dangerous illusion. Men start living in silent competition, not with others, but with an imaginary version of themselves. They're not chasing confidence anymore. They're chasing validation, and validation is a bottomless pit. No matter how much you achieve or how much you prove, it's never enough, because you're chasing approval from others instead of peace within yourself. What really defines you? So here's the truth that every man needs to hear: you are not defined by your size, your abs, or your wallet. You are defined by your character, by how you treat people, by how you love, by how you carry yourself when no one's watching. Your worth isn't measured in centimeters, it's measured in compassion. It's measured in how safe you make others feel. It's measured in confidence that comes from knowing I'm enough as I am. When you stop comparing yourself to unrealistic ideals, you step into real power, the kind that doesn't need to shout, the kind that doesn't need to prove, the kind that radiates quietly like calm strength. Final message. So what's the lesson from all this? It's simple. Most men exaggerate because they think they have to, but you don't. You're already enough. Average is normal. Normal is healthy. And real confidence has nothing to do with what's in your pants and everything to do with what's in your heart. The next time you hear someone brag about how big they are, just smile, because the loudest ones are often the least secure. True strength doesn't brag, it doesn't compare, it just is. So stop measuring yourself against a lie. Start measuring your life by how you live, love, and lead, because the man who accepts himself fully, honestly, completely is already larger than life. If this story opened your eyes, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs a reminder, and remember, you don't need to prove your worth. You just need to own it. Take care of yourself, stay confident, stay grounded, because you are enough.